Hello. Today's review is Into the Radius, which is available on PSVR 2, which is what we are on right now, Quest 2, Quest 3, Quest Pro, as well as PC. And do I recommend it? I do. Fundamentally, I only really have one complaint. It really would be nice to have a little backup, but I'm given to understand there's a sequel in the works, and they aim to correct that in the sequel, so hooray! Anyway, why do I recommend it? Well, let's get into that. Personally, I find the game like a lot of fun because there's a lot of adventuring through various locations. For official, too technical. I say too technical because technically, one, where you can get your missions and or play various tapes that you found in the radius. You can repair your guns here, or after you've accepted a mission, wandered off to the wasteland, and then came back, you deliver over here any sort of mission sensitive item. Upgrade and repairs are done over here if you want to pay for your repairs instead of doing them by hand over there. Although if your weapon is in red condition, you cannot repair it over there. You have to come here. And also on top of that, certain things like the silencer also can only be repaired via, as well as things like your armor can also only be repaired in here. That's also where you upgrade your weapons. That's where I got the rails to get a nice little laser sight and a nice little silencer and grenade launcher. I wish they had extended mags, but that's perfectly fine. Oh yeah, you also buy your stuff over here. Alright, and the other technical place, technically it is a place, is Pechorsk. Listen, I'm very dyslexic, so this is what we're going to do. This place, let me take that off. This place is only available during one mission. Before the end of this review, I will let you know if you can come back after you beat the game, because that's the last mission in the game. And if you go there before it's the last mission of the game, there's just a giant wall that you can't pass. You can't enter the castle. You can't go through the walls. You can't go through the internal. You can't get to the center. You can't yada yada yada, right? Not the point. Slight spoiler. Okay, so originally you start off in this location. Well, actually you start off here, but that's the first exit you have available to you. And that place is called that. Alright, I'm very dyslexic. Again, I'm very dyslexic. So this is how we're doing it. Then the next location, if you go from here to there, you're going to have some resistance over here, but this area it is basically the shallows in Subnautica. Like, you're not dealing with shit. I mean, you are, but it's so astronomically simple and easy to avoid or deal with. Basically non-issue. Not the point. So next, you come here, and that is called that. And then from there, you'll have enough money to buy enough good supplies to be able to go here. Because this place is the biggest pain in the ass. You will be in a gunfight almost perpetually. Like your first visit, because there's so many spawners. There's a monster spawner here, monster spawner there, monster spawner there, monster spawner here, monster spawner somewhere, I think in there. And it just naturally has just so many enemies, most of which are armed with guns. Mostly assault rifles. This is the one location where there's barely any pistols. Because like this whole little village right here is mostly pistols. This area right here is pistols. And this area here is got like one or two pistols. But here and all of here has just mostly machine gunners on top of all of the many different anomalies, but we're going to get to all that. Anyway, so this place is called that. And this place is called that. You can either heal yourself through the shower, sleeping. I'm going to give you a huge piece of advice. Pay very close attention to your time. It's not like Skyrim or Fallout, where it's like you're sitting there like, I want 1 hour, 2 hours. Nah, we need 3 hours of sleep because the thing was time sensitive, so we got to yada in 3 hours. Okay, and then you click it, and it's not 3 hours. That's 3 o'clock. And if it's 4 o'clock, that's an entire day down. The time is very important because the tide. Good news, when the tide hits, bad news, all the enemies come back. Good news, you get to loot shit again. Various guns and chests will now be available like they were when you went through the first time. And then this is the store. You have various items corresponding based off of price and security clearance. But I have level 5 because, as you saw, I'm on that last mission, so I can buy all of the guns. All of them. Oh yeah, back to what I was saying. The other 2 ways after sleeping, the only other way of healing is healing injector. Fair warning, you gotta hit it and then wait a second because your hearts will tick up. They don't immediately... It's not instant healing. My only other real fundamental complaint, besides the lack of multiplayer, is that when it gets dark, and your enemies come in one color. He was called a fragment. You break the body, and then there's like a small of that that remains that needs to be destroyed as well. Otherwise, they can reconstruct. That is unique to them and them alone. They have an invisible, which is mostly just transparent variant where they don't leave that little ball, and as well as every other monster also doesn't leave that ball, but that's not the point. The point is, at night, especially when you're facing off against somebody that shoots, it is so incredibly hard to see. This is what I was talking about trying to see them in the dark. And also that scream lets you know they're dead. These tapes you can either put in your backpack, which we forgot to talk about earlier, but backpack. And or you can put it in the little tape recorder here, or you can put it in your backpack and then that tape recorder in the computer that I showed you earlier.
UNPSC, Explorer 12, log 10.
There are 2 different types of recordings. One where they tell you about the world, the monsters, the anomalies. We'll get there, give me a second. Or music. Most of the things you're going to deal with is the wiggle, 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 and the impact boom. And that's when you use these things. So you throw them. I recommend getting the advanced kind. It has like the little things so you can see them a little easier when they fall. It's easier to see where that went right. And then you just... Be careful though, because like these, they shoot those things back at you whenever you... And then these ones, luckily, they don't do anything. They just let you know, hey, I'm here. Once you get to that second location, you start seeing more advanced anomalies like this. I don't remember what it was called, but it burns. It burns a lot. Let me just grab me a healing syringe, and this is what it looks like when you accidentally come into contact, and it just like eats at your health. Even if you hit yourself with an injector, you're more or less just stable until it runs out, whichever one runs out first. The next most advanced anomaly you'll run into is poisonous water. Thankfully, it's not like the string, so the minute you step out, it stops poisoning. The next anomaly, by far the most dangerous. Oh, I missed. Lightning. For half a second, you can see a small flash to let you know it's there, and you can usually hear the tick 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 tick. You can nullify it. When you do that, it burns itself out for like a second. So what you gotta do is you gotta like throw like 5 of them in a row as you're running through them if you're going that way. This is a monster spawner. You want to destroy them as soon as possible because you can sell that blue crystal for good money. Hello. You sidestep and he gets stunned like that. Where'd you go? So this is the police officer. As you can see, he has a pistol. It's fairly basic. Also, I'm pretty sure that's that sniper. One of the snipers is mentioning. I don't know what this dude's called, so I'm gonna call him the Running Man. See, the guns, there's submachine guns, shotguns, snipers, and assault rifles. And pistols. And then there's this running asshole. Enemy I haven't filmed yet is the hardest enemy to film because he kills you so fast and there's no way of like pausing to look at him. He teleports and he swings just way too damn hard and he looks kind of like an angel. Granted, some sort of shadow demon monster angel. This is the armored car, which I'm pretty sure we cannot destroy. So, this last level, as I stated, is the castle. Castle's behind that wall. You can kind of see, I'm actually pretty sure that's the pillar we gotta climb and get to the top of in order to achieve our goal. Anyway, this gate right here. Oops, right here. If you come here before the last mission, there's a wall around this gate. Or I think these doors it is that are closed. And they're like, no, you're not allowed. I love how creepy this game is. It's so fucking good. They just spew nonsense, but because like it's in a weird voice, it's kind of eerie. I think when they say you're gonna break it, I think they are actually referencing those spawners because we do tend to break them. Not the point. Anyway, unavailable from like that doorway to and then all along. And then up in the, and then around the. Little piece of advice, there's usually a stash somewhere along this, but you have to get onto the other side. I'm gonna get attacked soon. And then there's an opening, and then there's like a courtyard, and then up the stairs, and then around and around, and then up to the tower. Nope, this tower, I believe. But, I'll confirm before the end. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. I'll confirm before the end, once we complete this, if we're allowed back through that. And because I said I would do it, I am confirming you cannot come back after the mission. So before the mission and after the mission, this door is in your way. Because after you beat the game, it kind of just kicks you back out into the world and is like, yeah, find your own fun. I mean, you can still do missions, but more or less, shoo, go find your own fun. But, that's my little review of the maps. The game itself, a little bit of a walking simulator, especially after you killed everything and you've broken all the spawners in an area. Then it turns into a little bit of a walking sim where you look for handfuls of Hirsch, usually in white, at least one per map, but usually I think is like 2 or 3 of hers. But more or less though, yeah, my only real complaints are that no multiplayer and like a bit of a walking simulator, but the walking simulator is not that big of a deal because it's still like a spooky, atmospheric, eerie little post-apocalyptic dreamscape hellscape, filled with a number of monsters. I don't have grenades. Why do I not have a fucking grenade in that? And technically, you don't even have to turn it into a walking simulator because you could just not break the spawners. Because if you choose not to break the spawners, then I think it's something like every 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, what we just saw right there was a monster spawner literally actively summoning a monster in front of our face. I actually kind of recommend this game more so on the quest because the fog is actually a little thicker in there and it gives like a little Silent Hill vibe. One of the greatest tension builders in that essentially the enemies were Schrodinger's enemies. That is to say that the enemies were both there and not there based off of your observation. And what I mean by that is that, say for example, typically when I come here, I come through here into there because the spawner is usually in like a little shack right here or a little shack back there. Very rarely is it ever in the little shack that's over there. Not the point. Okay, so I go through here because it's usually just easier to deal with the spawner there, right? And I'll clear the whole building, the whole thing, top floor, bottom floor, the little basement thing that we're going to call a basement, even though it's not really. And then if you circled around and then entered through the side entrance over here, there would be an extra 3 enemies, one on top of a train over here, on top of a train over there, and one that's in this region on the stairs. And you could have broken the spawner, you could have killed everything, but the moment you observed it from the alternate perspective, Schrodinger's enemies would just pop into existence. So it really built the tension because it wasn't enough that you cleared the place. You had to clear the place based on different angles in order to make sure everything was dead and you weren't like blindsided. But aside from that though, phenomenal. It's so nice on the PlayStation. They got the better processing, they got the better fidelity, they got, more color. So it's nice on the PlayStation. It is. Don't get me wrong. And PlayStation is where I tend to make all of my reviews, mostly because they have this awesome editing program. But other than that, though, it's a little better on the Quest. I recommend it. It's fun. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. If you're playing on Quest, it's extra spooky because you don't know if you actually killed everything until you circle the compound a few times. But yeah, anyway, I hope this was helpful and I hope you have a great day.